President Donald Trump signed an executive order that stripped collective bargaining rights from federal employees across dozens of agencies. This includes over 1,000 employees of the Bureau of the Fiscal Service, represented by the National Treasury Employees Union here in Parkersburg. A district court judge initially blocked the executive order, but an appeals court panel lifted that injunction. The executive order remains in effect as the case moves through the courts, and local union steward Eric Engel says the impact on workers has been devastating. The union office was shuttered and cleared out, payroll dues collection was cut off, and the grievance process was frozen. Workers also lost telework rights and alternative work schedules previously guaranteed by federal law. Union officials like Engel are also unable to respond to employee concerns while on the clock. Engel says many workers have been taking deferred resignations or early retirements or left the BFS for employment elsewhere due to these changes.
These were the best jobs, arguably the best jobs in the Mid-Ohio Valley for decades. I certainly felt that way when I got mine 12 years ago. And that I can honestly say is not the case anymore. And that's very devastating.
Last month, the Bureau of Fiscal Service said it was terminating its collective bargaining agreement with the NTEU. That move has been challenged by the union's national president, who said the termination was unlawful. The case remains pending in federal court.